Debbie, the researcher.
And I'm Judy, the athlete. And we're here to help you better your best. You've heard us talk a lot of times about Opti. Opti is the headset. It's a neurofeedback headset that we use to train performance. A lot of times it can feel like the zone when you train your brain. We believe it's a skill that you can learn. And I can let you tell them a little bit more about the history of it, since it's kind of your baby.
Yeah, a lot of years, 30-some plus years, 33,252 laboratory putts went into the development of the algorithms for it. But so it does have a history, and we can do measurement. We can do 3 different types of training with Opti, and so it's really meant to help athletes. But we've had more fun with all these different uses of the system once we got it put together. The things I never dreamed of when we actually developed it.
Sure. So some of the stuff we do, like maybe we should share some of the different things that we do.
Great.
I think some of the things that we do is we'll work with an athlete, and they'll get to where they're very, very good at getting the music to go low, which is an indicator that they're
1 second before they move.
Right, which is an indicator that their brain is in synergy or balance.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got to add to it, right? So we've got to push that or test it or add a little bit more to it. Some of the things we do is we might add scenarios, like tell them this is you're teeing off at some major tournament, or we may say you're 2 points in the lead with 3 arrows left to go. Things like that to try to put them in that. We might reduce time and get them the time pressure where you don't have as much time as normal. Just trying to get that heart rate and those kinds of things
Competition, the 3 in a rows, the third one's the good challenge one, and once they hear that music go down, they've got more confidence than you could imagine. One that I have more fun with is there's 5 levels of difficulty in Opti, and I'll probably set it up 1 more level so it's a little harder to get that music low. And in putting, for example, when they putt, if they come out of it, their brain gets too far ahead of the putt before they finish the motion. They want to see where it's going. The music will go up. So it'll actually train them to stay in the motion all the way to the end. And with you guys, it's going to go up probably when they release, but it can go right back down after the shot. We have a couple of people who use it after the shot. So it's about, instead of going off into our tangent about what just happened or overthinking or all the emotions, if your goal is to keep that music low or get it low right after the shot, I mean, it's a great post-shot release. Yeah.
And one of the ones that I never would have thought of, right, is I'll get an athlete that comes in and they're about to have a lesson or maybe even just a training period, and they're all over the place. Just nothing's working. Maybe they just had a fight with somebody. Maybe they just had a bad day at school or the office, and everything's all over the place. And I have seen them put the headset on and just let it balance them, get them back to a place where we can actually have a good lesson.
Correct. We had 3 or 4 years, I did a special kids golf group, and 5 minutes, every one of them did 5 minutes on Opti before we went out, and it made a world of difference. But the other fun one we've been using it for is equipment fitting. So whether it's a club or a shaft, or for you it could be different arrows or bows or pieces of equipment on the bow. And what we can do is look at the measures that come out of it. They're shooting the best shots they can or putting the best putts they can, and the numbers that come out of the measurement system can tell us which ones actually work best for them.
Yeah, and we had one archer who, just a bow that they love. They just love this bow. But they kept, it's old now. So they kept thinking, gotta go with a new bow, And so we put the headset on to test 4 different bows that this archer had purchased and was working with, and kept going back to the original bow. And what we found was exactly that. The happiness factor of their brain really, really, really connected with that bow.
So that's a good example for the feel piece of it. The other thing though is whether they like it or not, what we find also is that the numbers that come off of the headset match the numbers that come off of either the ball flight or the arrow flying, and they match what, regardless of whether they like it or don't like it or are happy with it, the one that works for them match the outcomes.
Right, so the outcome matches. Absolutely.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah, it's
So
a lot of fun.
we keep finding more and more and more uses for
Yeah.
Opti, and I'm just really happy to have it as a tool for me. When I work with archers with target panic or with just getting them ready for a big
Right.
tournament or keeping them balanced, there's so many things. If I'd have had it back then,
Oh, me too. I think
I
the
just
same.
feel like I wouldn't have struggled nearly as much on the
Yeah.
bad times.
The players, when it gives them confidence. One player I remember told me, "You taught me to believe in myself." I thought that was probably the best compliment we could ever have.
Yeah, it's great. So, Opti, one other way to better your best.